former University of Florida swimming coach and was captain of the 1948 Gator swim team. That is Keith Tennant, another judge, and he's a former University of Florida wrestling coach. And we're going to look at Johnny Joka, NCAA boxing champion for the Gators, and he also won 2 championships in the lightweight division. So there are 3 judges for Slugfest 89. And we're looking at our first fighter at the 140-149 weight pound class. In the green, that is Pete Kaufman for Pi Lambda Phi. And in the yellow, we've got Andy Meadows from Sigma Chi. Andy's a junior from Miami, Florida. And from Miami, Florida, Pete Kaufman, a senior. Tomorrow, Sports Channel Florida has a treat for hockey fans as we bring you the ECAC Division I semifinals. That's 2 live games back-to-back at 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Catch it all here on Sports Channel Florida. Hockey has never looked better. Steve Babick, Terry Van. Ringside, the O'Connell Center, the University of Florida, Slugfest 89. We're getting ready for our 5th fight of the night. Nice crowd on hand. We've got a total of 16 fights as you take a look at all the spectators on hand. They expect a crowd of anywhere between 6,000 and 7,000. We have 2 fights in each weight class, 8 weight classes, 16 fights. And right now, as far as point total goes, Pi Kappa Phi has 2 points, Pi Lambda Phi 1, and Phi Delta Theta 1 also. Round 1 underway. You have Andy Meadows in the yellow and Pete Kaufman in the green.
And both fighters trying to size each other up right now, Steve, moving to the center of the ring. We get into a little heavier weight fighters in this competition. We'll see the fighters slow down just a little bit, but I think we're still going to see the furious action that has highlighted some of the earlier fights.
Andy Meadows and Pete Kaufman going not only toe-to-toe, but head-to-head, literally butting heads.
Now, Pete Kaufman is probably the more experienced of the 2 fighters in here. Andy Meadows is really geared up and psyched up for this tonight. He'd like to beat Kaufman. Kaufman's boxed in prior Slugfest. He's coached 2 teams to second-place finishes in previous competition. So Kaufman, the more experienced competitor, Meadows wants to really prove himself tonight.
One thing you notice right from the start here in round number 1, Andy Meadows there in the yellow for Sigma Chi likes to bear down and get low and try to come up underneath.
Right. Well, Sweet Pistol Pete Kaufman getting warning for holding. Now, a lot of these fighters are going to forget some of the basic rules at times. Referee will warn them. They're letting a lot of little things slide a little bit tonight. You're not being too tough on them because these guys are out here with heart. And both Kaufman and Meadows have just both been the recipients of some awfully hard shots. Didn't phase either one of them. Certainly going to take out from their stamina, Steve, but they're right back at it at each other in the center of the ring.
Corey Schaefer is our 3rd man in the ring. He's refereeing, and he's really keeping a close eye on this, telling the fighters to fight out of it, put the clenching and holding, and start fighting.
Right, well, you know, everybody wants to see good boxing action. We don't want to see him do a dance up there, and there's not going to be any as we come to the end of round 1.
End of round number 1, and we'll keep it here ringside. We're looking at the corner of Pete Kaufman, Pi Lambda Phi, and let's listen in. Well, first of all, let's take a look at the flurry that ended round number 1.
Now, Kaufman, with his back to us, comes out with a right hand that really walloped Meadows and then just followed up with a left hand, backed him up right across the ring.
Pete Kaufman, senior from Miami, and as Terry mentioned, he's coached 2 teams to second-place finishes in Slugfest competition and is a veteran of Slugfest. And as we look at Andy Meadows getting instructions at his corner, he's a junior from Miami. And there's the Sigma Chi folks for Andy Meadows cheering him on.
Okay, Andy Meadows' coach, Keith Teller, taking care of the Sigma Chi team this year and telling him to watch that really wild punch throwing. You know, let's try to get some straight arm shots in here. Let's not get too wild. Just about ready for round number 2.
Round number 2, you are watching Slugfest 89, sponsored by Phi Delta Theta, and it benefits the Alachua County Boys Club with the proceeds from the fight. A very good cause and also very interesting because all 4 fraternities involved won a chance at that team trophy.
Well, Pete Kaufman trying to bully Andy Meadows into the corner, and he pretty well did, but Andy Meadows said, nope, I want out of here. I'm not going to take any of that from you. If, when you're watching, you look and you say, well, this doesn't look very skillful at times, it's because it isn't. But I mean to tell you, these young men's hearts are in this fight. They will be all night long.
Looks like Andy Meadows getting some headgear readjusted there. Looks a little tired, and Pete Kaufman's experience may be coming through right now.
Well, his experience didn't do him any good there because he really reached real hard. Almost was the recipient. If Meadows could have gotten the shot off, could have had him in real trouble. But he recovered from it.
In the yellow, Andy Meadows, representing Sigma Chi. In the green, Pete Kaufman, Pi Lambda Phi.
Well, Kaufman certainly getting the best of Meadows at times. He's throwing some really hard punches into the body, and that's going to wear Meadows down very quickly as we get more than halfway through this round.
You know, Meadows having trouble with his vision because his headgear is coming over his eyes.
Well, they may have selected a piece of headgear that's just a little too large for him. We hate to see a selection of a piece of gear be at a disadvantage, but that's part of the experience factor or inexperience factor in this case.
30 seconds left in the round, 30 seconds left.
Well, hard to tell who's getting the worst of that. I really think Meadows is being the recipient of the harder punches, meaning that the sweet Pistol Pete Kaufman in the green.
Boy, Meadows with a straight right overhand and got Pete Kaufman and knocked him back on the ropes.
Something we've seen all night long. Even the more experienced, smoother fighter, just doing great. It's the end of the round.
The Sigma Chi brothers cheering and exhorting Andy Meadows on as we get ready for round number 3. In the other corner, Pete Kaufman for Pi Lambda Phi. Let's take a look at that last flurry that got the folks up in their seats and standing up.
A really great right hand by Andy Meadows. He followed up with a left hand, and that put Pete Kaufman back into the ropes. As I was starting to say before, Steve, you know, Meadows on the worst end of a lot of these shots, but he's not quitting. He comes right back, and he gets some great shots in himself. Let Kaufman know he's still in this fight. Now, here's Pete Kaufman in his corner, his coach, Felix Small, who's a great middleweight fighter here in Florida. You know, a guy who's fought the likes of Manny Vega, Joey Gray, Vinny Hammock. We see Felix Small in a lot of professional fights in Florida. He's been coaching that Phi Lam team and doing a great job of it. He's got Pete Kaufman ready to go for round number 3 up against Andy Meadows in the yellow.
A lot of exciting action here at Slugfest 89, the University of Florida campus, the O'Connell Center. Good crowd on hand, and round 3 is underway. Meadows in the yellow, Kaufman in the green, and nice left-to-right combination by Meadows.
Sure, Meadows coming up with some low starting punches, and while he's doing that, Kaufman's bopping him in the head. Now their stamina as they get into the 3rd round and their training is really going to start to show. These boxers have been training for 4 solid months for this event. Day in, day out, carrying a load at school, all for charity. They will not quit in this 3rd round. They may get very, very tired, but neither fighter will quit.
A lot of pride at stake here. 4 fraternities doing battle for a team championship trophy, bragging rights for 1 year.
Hey, referee Corey Schaefer split the fighters. They move back to the ring, and there's a real low left hand that Andy Meadows is able to get in it. He's been most effective with it, but while he does that, Pete Kaufman is getting him on top.
Right now you can see some of the guard, the deep. Oh, what a hit. The guard went down, Andy Meadows' right hand went down, and Pete Kaufman came in there with a left hook.
Boy, he popped him with a left hook, opened it up, and then he came right back and really wailed him. And came right back again.
He's going after Meadows now. He senses Meadows is in trouble. He's staggering. Let's see what happens.
And Meadows is in trouble. He's doing everything he can do to hang in there, and he wants to hang in there, but referee Corey Schaefer says, nope, that's enough. Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. As we see the fans celebrating and cheering on, and there's the winner, Pete Kaufman. Let's take a look at that knockdown. What a punch.
Sure, watch the short left. Watch the left come back. Well, maybe we're just a little bit too early. Now, there'll be a left, and bam, down goes Andy Meadows. He got back up. Pete Kaufman took care of him. Goes down as a TKO in the 3rd round.
First left stunned him, second left did him in. There's the looter, Andy Meadows, and we'll be back with more at 1:49 here at Slugfest 89 after we take this break on Sports Channel Florida.
Hi, I'm Al Keck. Join me and the coach as we look at one of the country's fastest up-and-coming basketball programs, the South Florida Bulls.